Kevin Holland posted screenshots of DMs that he was getting from this guy who basically saying Josh, sorry, not Josh, Kevin, stop
Jaden Draper.
And so this guy's in Kevin's DMs and he says, all I got to say is even though you're a black belt, I'm positive I could submit you, prove me wrong. And then he follows up a month later, stop ducking me. Then a month later, still ducking me, pussy ass. And then Kevin,
this is great.
Kevin posts a screenshot and says, one troll down, way too many more to go. How it started versus how it ended. And then he posts the video to accompany it. And the video is, let me play it for you. Kevin and this guy rolling.
This is great. Just jiu-jitsu, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just jits, just a roll.
This is great.
Goes for the leg and the takedown. Nice sprawl by Kevin Holland. Takes the underhook on the backside of the arm. Slides to the side. Oh, look at the door.
Damn.
His arm triangle choke. Turn over. Oh, no, I would just turn out. To that dude, all of his friends, when he's watching fights, he goes, dude, all I would do is just turn out of that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kevin just flung him down with the whizzer.
Dude, Kevin ragdoll made him look like his bitch. Let's be honest.
I love it.
Yeah. She's still ducking me, pussy ass. Well, guess not.
Oh, man. It was great. This is the type of shit we get all the time, John. Do you ever get shit like this?
Dude. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's so embarrassing. Yeah. It's just like, come on, man. There was a guy that did this with Josh Koscheck, and Josh Koscheck pushed the video out too. The guy came, Josh told him, you know where to find me. You're here, like whatever, I'm here. And the kid walked into the gym, and Josh put it on him. But I mean, Josh was being very, and the guy tried to quit, and Josh's like, no, you're not quitting. Get in
I've
here.
had to say, oh, yeah. No. After one time, okay. No. You could do much better.
Of course, come back in here. Let's go, buddy.
When I owned a gym, I had the same thing. One of my best ones, anyway, it had nothing to do with him fighting me. A guy comes in, right, and this dude's hands were so jacked up. His knuckles, he had destroyed them from, he says, I hit steel, right? Brilliant. And his knuckles are just giant and just mangled. And I go, you're hitting steel? He says, and I have a boxing ring right there. It's got giant 4x4 metal post. He goes, I could break through that post right there. I said, go ahead. He goes, I don't want to destroy your boxing ring. I said, oh no, please. I said, I give you permission. Go ahead. I want to see. Go ahead and break it. Yeah. If you can break it, I want to see it. Right? He goes, oh, I don't. I said, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what people do though. You just look, you go, stop. There's so many phonies.
Yeah, I could.
And for all the internet warriors out there, you're tough guys. Yeah, I believe you. You are.
John, I feel like you and I really need to bring back that show that you did. The show that you were on.
Oh, dude, I love that show.
What was it called?
Bully Beatdown.
Got to bring that back.
I love that show. Oh, it was great.
We would have a good time on that.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
So many. Oh, dude.
I think we need to do it.
There was so many guys that talked so much shit before that show. It was like, yep, yeah, you're tough.
What was the best moment you ever had on that show in terms of someone talking trash?
There was probably two, and it was the talking trash one was one, and it is you can talk to Jake Shield tonight. We went out to dinner with my wife, and we go to this teppanyaki place. Right, and we walk in, and they're gonna seat us down. Well, at the time, Tap Out was sponsoring the show and everything, so they would put the tough guys and the fighters in different hotels and stuff like that or whatever. But if you went out on the town, you could end up in the same restaurant. Well, they're gonna sit us down at this station, this teppanyaki station, with these guys, all decked out in fucking Tap Out gear. So I was like, well, guess who the fuck they are?
Yeah, right?
So we sit down, right? And the three of us sit down, and and these guys are like, oh my God, John McCarthy, Jake Shields, we're here. I'm here to fight, right? And I go, I kind of figured that was what you're wearing there. He's got the hats, the shirts, everything on. And the guy said, he goes, I'm being honest. He says, he says, I live right by your gym. He goes, I'm doing this to pay for my membership at your gym. I go, you're doing this to pay? He goes, absolutely. He goes, let me tell you something. He goes, people have no idea how strong I am. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. And he goes, what would you say if I throw my opponent, the fighter, out of the cage? I said, I'll tell you what, if you throw your fighter out of the cage, I will give you a lifetime membership in my gym.
Oh man.
Right? He goes, done. It's done. I guarantee it's gonna happen, right? He goes, the only thing he goes, the only guys that I wouldn't want to see is, I don't want to have like an Andre Arlovsky because of his stand-up. And the guy he was going to fight was Andre Arlovsky. He had no idea. Right? So when Andre Arlovsky, when it finally came to the point and Andre Arlovsky gets called out, this guy's face goes, he never even made it to the fucking kickboxing part. He was done after the grappling, right?
Oh,
the only thing that he threw out over the top of the fucking cage was his lunch. He was throwing up and stuff, but those guys were so funny. There were times where guys would actually, they would slip in there. They could fight. There were guys that actually trained, and there was this one guy that comes in there and he looked familiar to me, and I'm looking at him, right, and I knew his brother. His brother was an MMA fighter, had about a 5-1 record, pretty good. And I knew that he trained at Marco Huis's down in Laguna Niguel. And so he was, set up to fight someone. So I go to the producer of the show, and I tell him, hey, man, you're going to want to switch this. I said, you need to put this kid against, I had Eddie Alvarez there. Mm-hmm. I said, you need to put him against Eddie. I said, who he's going against, that kid, you guys are worried about people getting hurt. That's going to be a harder fight. That guy's going to try harder. Eddie's going to toy with him. Right, so they switched, and so this guy he's out there and he's ready, and they called out Eddie Alvarez, and he had that look like, motherfucker. And so at the end of it, after it was all over, he didn't get a dime. He got toasted by Eddie, right? Eddie toyed with him, and at the end, they would have these guys sign. They had these lockers that they would put their stuff into, and so they got to sign the locker at the end of it. This guy goes, he says, I come here thinking I'm going to get $10,000, and you give me Eddie fucking Alvarez. Thanks a lot. He signed his name.
I love it. What happened? Okay, so I never saw the one with Thomas Denny, but someone said he lost. I don't know how.
He didn't lose,
okay.
but the guy got all the money. He didn't get any submission.
That's losing, John.
Because
that's losing, John.
Okay, hold on. I can't remember the guy's brother's name, but the kid was a Russian guy, and the problem was, this is when it started. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. But it started, and it was, people need to remember that there was Elite XC. Mm-hmm. And Elite XC had bought up a bunch of different promotions. They bought up Rumble on the Rock. They bought out King of the Cage, and different ones like that. Well, they also had this, they were the ones that owned the rights to this, show of Bully Beatdown. And then Elite XC folds. Yeah, they fold and they end up going under, and Strikeforce takes it over. So Terry Treblecock gets King of the Cage back from the Elite XC deal, and he's the one that has the contract with Bully Beatdown. So he starts feeding all of his fighters into it. And the guy who is one of the executive producers, he pulls me. He says, what do you think of our fighters? I go, they're not real good. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, Terry tells me that. I said, dude, look, you've got B level at best. Most of your fighters are C and D level fighters. I said, they're just not very good. And he goes, are you sure? I go, yeah, I'm fucking sure. I'm sorry. He had some good ones, but, and then what they would do is, like with Thomas Denny, Thomas Denny was a decent fighter, but Thomas Denny fought at 155 pounds, 145 pounds. The kid that they put him against was 200 pounds. His brother was a professional fighter. And so the kid, stand-up wise, could fight. Submission wise, he was strong enough to be able to stop the submissions that Thomas Denny was putting on. So when Thomas didn't submit him at all, the guy won the $5,000 there. And then he was putting it on Thomas in the stand-up. He didn't get rid of him, but yeah, so Thomas couldn't get rid of him, so that guy got the $10,000.
I was
So
supposed,
yes,
I was
I guess
supposed to
you could
fight.
say he won.
I was supposed to fight Thomas Denny a couple times. I want to say it was scheduled for like 2 or 3 times. I think one time was King of the Cage, and then the fight fell through because the UFC. I was working with the UFC at the time, and they weren't keeping me busy enough. So every time I fought outside the UFC or was gonna fight outside the UFC, they seemed to give me a fight when I. They're like, no, you don't go over there. We'll fight you. So there, yeah. So that, and then I think it was also what was it? Oh, remember Ultimate Athlete? Him and I were supposed to fight. Him and I were supposed to fight in that also, and then that fell through. So yeah, because they fell off they fell.
Yeah,
they were gone after the whole Palm Springs thing. Remember in Palm Springs?
Yeah, well, after the riot,
the biker gang riot,
the biker riot,
the Mongols and another gang. I don't know what it was, but it was the Mongols. I remember that. Anyway,
well, that was the Mongols had a guy that was he was a patched member who was fighting, and he lost.
But then they started, something happened in the front row. They started getting into it with somebody else, and then just someone got stabbed. I want to say two people got stabbed, I think.
Yep.
Not a good situation, but those days are behind us in this sport now. We're civilized sport, as
they can come back. Do you remember when Renzo Gracie was fighting in Brazil and he got stabbed while he was in the cage? He was fighting Eugenio Tadeu, and he actually got stabbed through the cage.
No, John, I was 7 when that happened. Okay.
You might have been.
I'm letting you know, buddy. I'm old, but I'm not that old.